An elven warrior trapped on modern-day Earth. Two friends with different destinies meet at a magical school. These are some of the stories we at Electric Eclipse Comics are working on. You can get your copies of both The Mana Chronicles and Tales of Itherel at elpmerch.com. Support independent creators. Explore the merch featuring exciting ELP Comics art with a wide range of designs. Electric Eclipse Comics. Imagination electrified.
Never stop learning, because life never stops teaching. Every experience, whether good or bad, holds a lesson. In every challenge, there's growth. Every failure offers wisdom. Life is constantly evolving, and so should we. The moment we think we know it all, we close the door to possibility. Stay curious, stay open, and remember that every day is an opportunity to become a little wiser, a little stronger, and a little better than before.
Well, welcome everybody. We're just going to play a video because we have Shug Jackson on, and this is his video, him and Big Hutch. So they just did a new one. So we're just going to play this, and after that, we're going to have a chat. So.
This is Shug Jackson and Big Hutch presentation. You better have your mind made up and say 10 toes down every day. Get up. Yep. Better learn to dot your I's and cross your T's and stand up tall like a G. Like a gangster. Better have your mind made up and say 10 toes down every day. Get up. Yep. Better learn to dot your I's and cross your T's and stand up tall like a G. You better let your mind be free. Better respect the code when you see a G like me. I get it popping off the TOP. I stay fully prepared for all the haters and the enemies. I'm the type of brother stay true to the dirt, true to the foe. Always stand tall on my 10 toes. Yeah, you know my motto. I'm always quick to play a trick and always stay above the law. Yeah, I hustle in my sleep, get money globally. I'm hood royalty, and suckers get shook when I pull up. Especially when they gave me up the bar to a brother like Hutch. Yeah. I always stay a cut above. Eat big, drink big, VIP when I'm in the club. Don't nobody do it like us. This is a public announcement from Shug Jackson and Big Hutch. Pay attention. You better have your mind made up and say 10 toes down every day. Get up. Yup. Better learn to dot your Y's and cross your T's and stand up tall like a G. Like a gangster. Better have your mind made up and say 10 toes down every day. Get up. Yup. Better learn to dot your Y's and cross your T's and stand up tall like a G. I say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. One foot's down, the other one's alive. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I got the homie hustle, baby, bring a friend. See, the hustle don't stop until we hit the bar. And I'm looking at your ass like some caviar. While I know the haters looking, I don't give a damn. Because the streets already know who the hell I am. So if you're slacking on your game, don't be mad at me. Just put your 10 toes down and let your ass be free. See, the streets got a thing for fools playing games. And it's always a place for the hood fame. I keep my mind on the bigger picture, the right mixture. Both feet down in case life hits you. Shug Jackson and the homie Hutch. You better know it's two in the clutch. Come on. Pay attention. You better have your mind made up and say 10 toes down every day. Get up. Yup. Better learn to dot your Y's and cross your T's and stand up tall like a G. Like a gangster. Better have your mind made up and say 10 toes down every day. Get up. Yup. Better learn to dot your Y's and cross your T's and stand up tall like a G. Let your mind be free. 10 toes down. Toes down. Let the world know we ain't messing around. Front, back, side to side. Wanna be down, you better join the ride. Pay attention, 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 pay attention. Yo, Shug, man. What up? Yo, you go to your girl house and I'm gonna go to my girl house because they talk about this took us too long to do this EP, man. So, big baby,
What up?
turn the music up, and we just gonna count our money. And pay attention.
All right. Well, welcome back, Shug. How you been?
Been good. Thank you. Blessed. How about yourself?
Yeah, I've been blessed as well. There's been lots going on between our lives since we last talked. I guess was last year. So yeah, that song, that's actually believe it or not, that's one of the first ones I've actually watched since that, like, the new age rapping has been going on. I just can't listen to that kind of stuff anymore. Like back in the day, it was just like, oh, all right, like, there's actually something to the music. Like now it's just like, okay, well, you know, I'm not into all that. I don't even know what they're saying nowadays. So it was very refreshing. So thank you for bringing that back, you know, and trying to teach the people. I think that maybe that's what you were trying to do with the whole music industry, is trying to help them come back to reality at this point. Is that what?
Yeah, trying to just put some substance back into the game. Some meaningful type of stuff, something that, you know, people can listen to, actually understand the words and hear the words with clarity, and just trying to do good music. So, you know.
So how long did it take you to write that song? What was the process?
Not very much at all. Not very long at all. I actually called Hutch one day and just told him, man, we need to do a song together. I want him on the song, and I wanted him to produce the track. He was like, say no more. Mm-hmm. And he called me the next day, and he already had the track done, his verse done on it. He actually came up with the hook. So the rest was just easy. I flew him out here to Phoenix, and we went in the studio and knocked it out. So it came together real easy. He and I've been wanting to, you know, I've been wanting to work with him forever. I've been knowing him since the '90s, since, you know, Easy and NWA. Mm-hmm. I know all them guys, so I was around all of them. Me and Hutch just clicked from day one, so it was real easy.
Nice. Are you guys gonna do more music together then?
Oh yeah, definitely. We're thinking about doing a whole EP together, and then a little short film together. He and I, our chemistry is great, so we think, yeah, we got a lot of things in the works for us too. A tour together, all that stuff. So it's gonna be fun.
So you're back on tour then, or like right now it's just kind of chill?
Yeah, just chill right now. I'm gonna go on tour later on, but you know, hopefully he and I can go out on our own tour eventually also. So.
Okay. Are you gonna bring any more people in, like Snoop and all them, or are you just gonna keep it just with you two? Are you gonna bring in like Snoop and all them too, or like just kind of keep it chill?
On the album?
On anything, like, are you gonna do any other collabs? Maybe thinking.
Thinking about it. There's an artist named Jaheim, R&B artist. A lot of people know Jaheim back in the day. I want to do a song with him. So I probably I don't know. Me and Cube was good friends, so we'll see what happens. I've always wanted to do a song with him also, so we sound so much alike and delivery and all that stuff. So I think that would be pretty hot. So we'll see what happens.
Okay.
Who knows?
I think he was, if I'm not mistaken, he was just out here in Alaska.
Yeah, that dude's all over the place. So he probably was. Yeah,
like the Matanuska Brewing. It was either him or was it Ice-T or Ice Cube? I can't remember which one it was. But yeah, they all come up to the Matanuska Brewing Company. So something something to look at.
Mhm.
You know, they hit up the Alaska is not a bad place. And Ludacris was just out here too for the big bear doing his thing.
Okay.
So I don't know, just some places to maybe add to your list.
Yeah. Alaska's definitely on my to-do list as far as going out into the wilderness. The concert stuff, you know, if they book me out there, I'll definitely be on the plane headed there. But I definitely want to get out there and do some hiking up in those mountains up there.
Oh yeah, I got you. I got you. Like this place behind us right here with the mountains and the water.
Yeah.
That's a Klutna. And it's so peaceful. You don't have your cell phone, no nothing. Like just you, God, and whoever else is out there, you know. And it is just like one of those places. That's one of my favorite places is actually Eklutna.
Okay.
Yeah, you can go bring your dog out there. The water is very clear actually, and make sure you have what do you call it? Fishing gear, like you know the waders, because you know, and not your good shoes. I'm just being real, because a lot of your hiking and your water and all that stuff, you just want to put on like because the waders actually help you with going even through the puddles and all that stuff throughout there, so you don't have to ruin your clothes. Just don't be pretty or like don't smell good. Don't do nothing because some bears will jack you up if you smell good. So. But yeah, just being real.
Because I'm a cologne freak, so I know not to wear no cologne. So
Yeah,
that's good to know. So
yeah, I'm just being real. Like you know, really, don't bring. I mean, a lot of people thinking that bringing the city in is going to help you. It's really not. It's more of a survival mode out here. In a way, you know, so like going into the woods and then you can tell like the bear smells like it, the brown bears smell like horrible pee, like, and then the black bears, they smell like berries, so you can smell it in the air. So you don't want to, you know, like that pepper spray, you don't want to pepper, you know, like, or make yourself smell like a steak.
Gotcha. Okay.
You can tell the age of the bear, and the 2-year-olds and the younger, that you can just tell them to go. You can really tell the bears to go. It's not a big issue, but it's just saying.
Right,
So,
good to know.
Yep. Yeah. So, you know, a great place to do videos though. You know, video for like getting. If you have any other songs that are like great, it's a great place to have different views and whatnots to utilize.
Yeah. Great.
So what else? I know you were doing the acting as well. Anything coming out?
Nothing coming out soon. Like I said, man, Hutch and myself, we're gonna start working on like a short film. And who knows, it might turn into a full feature film. So that's something that's kind of in the works we're talking about. So a few other projects that has come my way, but I got to keep those under wraps, so I can't really talk about them. But there's a few things in the works, so you know, so hopefully they come to fruition. So I'm really hooked on that acting thing. I got that bug, so that's something I really want to do and really want to be great at. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah. So what's it like coming up from your younger age? I'm not saying you're old. I'm just saying the different the difference between, you know, coming out with something now and bringing out the old, like, and seeing it in a different light, and then trying to bring it back versus like where you were back in the day and how it's changed.
Well, back in the day, on my first album with Def Jam, I was just first of all just excited to to have a record deal and excited to be on Def Jam. You know, that was everybody's dream back then, to be on Def Jam Records, you know what I mean? So, you know, LL Cool J, Beastie Boys, and, you know, Run DMC, the list goes on. So that was just and then at the same time, I was just an angry kid from the neighborhood, you know what I mean? So the whole album was, I mean, there was some fun stuff on there, but I was just angry at a lot of stuff that was like going on in the neighborhoods, and you know, the police brutality. And so the record kind of talked about a lot of stuff like that. Versus now, and of course, a lot of that stuff still goes on, but as life goes on, you kind of grow, you mature, and I think my music has matured. So, and now I choose to talk about kind of stuff that's gonna touch people in a different type of way, like make them either they're gonna laugh, they're gonna cry, or they're gonna feel happy. You know what I mean? So, and then a lot of subjects I'm not afraid to tap into, that probably a lot of other artists that are quote unquote street guys or street rappers, you know what I mean, are afraid to tap into. So I'm not afraid of that. So this new album, I think, is going to tap into a lot of that. It's going to be something people can, you know, put on and listen from one song, you know, from song number 1 all the way to song number 14. So
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh.
So.
Okay. Yeah, I just put up your Spotify, you know, Shug Jackson, what it looks like, as well. And then like the shirt I definitely bought. Like I didn't have anything else. So so it's up here in Alaska. I think I have one in Alaska, you know. Arizona says, hey Shug. But yeah, so where can we find your shirt? How can they get your shirt?
For right now, they got to order them through me until I get this website up, and then they can order through the website. But they can contact me on either Instagram or Facebook or one of those, and I get the shirts out to them. Excuse me.
Okay. It was just the shirts, right?
There's what?
It was just only the shirts, right?
Yeah, for right now, yeah.
Okay.
So there'll be hats and all that good stuff. So
yeah, it's good quality though. I mean, I really like, it's like one of those. I'm a texture person. I hate I'm just like I can't do texture very well, but it is a very good light feeling though. Like I'm not trying to, but it is really. I love the shirt. Yeah, definitely good. And but I like the saying though, that pay attention. You can use it for anything, like really, especially in this crazy world that we're in right now.
Exactly.
Like, totally. How are you handling that portion of how the world is going on right now? Like,
I guess probably just like everybody else. Just that, no pun intended, but yeah, paying attention. I mean, you got to pay attention to everything that's going on around you. Kind of adapt to it. Some things you stay away from, some things you indulge in, and you try to change things for the better and as much as you can. The other things you just, you know, you got to let nature take its course and, you know, let God do his job. You can't do God's job. So, so I just try to, you know, do what I can, do my part here and there, and hopefully it, you know, affects one person and then have a domino effect. So that's it. And I've learned to not believe everything I hear, and then only believe half of the stuff that I see. So, you know what I mean? Everything nowadays is based on likes and clicks and, you know, the shock value. And, you know, somebody can say something and, you know, they know they're lying. You know, half of America know they're lying. But then, you know, the other half believes them. And then half of the people that don't believe it, they end up believing it because it's told so much. So, you know, if you hear a lie long enough, you know, to some people it becomes the truth.
yeah.
So, you know, so I just, you know, I kind of, just kind of keep everything at arm's reach and at a distance and pay attention.
Yeah.
No pun intended, but just pay attention to everything that's going on. So
Yeah, I feel you. The woods seems to be a better spot at this point.
right.
Like that whole, would you choose a bear or a purse? Right now, I think the bear's a lot. They know what they want. They do what they do. I think they're a lot safer at this point.
Right.
They
Right.
stayed the same. You can
Right.
predict what they're gonna do.
Right.
So
Exactly.
that's how I'm feeling at this point.
Exactly.
And then having people who are I mean, the murderers are getting away with things, and then the other side is, you know what I mean? Like everything's just upside down. It's like, what the
Right.
heck happened? Like,
Right.
it's like, where are we going at this point? And at this point, I want to go back to a point back in the day, like before the cell phones and Google and social media. I think social media really, or that all that just jacked everything up between relationships and whatnots. And
Yeah, it definitely made it to where a lot of people nowadays only have social skills, right? Because you're not forced to communicate with somebody face to face. It's all text messaging and you may Zoom call somebody every now and then or whatever, you know what I mean? But there's no face to face interactions too much anymore. And people get away with being pretty much something like they know. It's like kind of like these filters, right? That everybody uses these filters, right? So
yeah,
people forget that they got to go outside into the real world. So you could post whatever kind of pictures you want with these filters on them and all that stuff, but when people see you out in the real world, they're not seeing that filter. You can't carry the filter around with you. So people have gotten so far away from being them because they want to be something else. But that's the world we live in. And then it's like the truth really hurts a lot of people, right? Because people are so into living a lie. So when they hear something remotely close to the truth, it hurts them. You know what I mean? Because they're so used to living a lie, or everybody lying to them just to be buddies, or have a hang around friend, as I call it. Right? Nobody wants to tell anybody the truth anymore, and that's just the world we live in. So, but I'm old school when it comes to that. You know what I mean? I'm gonna tell you the truth. I want you to tell me the truth. And we go from there. You know what I mean? Don't lie to me and I ain't gonna lie to you, type of thing. So
exactly.
yeah.
Even customer service has gotten horrible,
Right.
like you can't even, they shut you off so quick. It's like, wait, where's your compassion? Where's your love? Just the actual work ethic has gone down so much. And the attention span of people has been like 30 seconds pretty much to a minute.
Exactly.
That's it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and I've noticed that. So like when you're doing videos or whatever, like you can't just do a full length video because you lose it after about 10 seconds. You know what I mean? Like, it's so weird how things have just been like, huh? Like you just get that like, you click or whatever, and then like that, and then following everybody else, the trends. I mean, sometimes they're fun and funny, but like it's like, I really don't want to do this. This is stupid, but okay. Like but the real stuff, they don't, like you said, they don't want to hear that. Like that gets the less of the views and all of that. And it's just like, all right, that stupid search engine optimization, like, yeah. And Arizona said, Shug, you don't need a filter. Like,
I personally think they should do away with the filters, right? There's so many beautiful people out here that are just beautiful being them, right? So, but if you don't feel beautiful inside, there's no way, in my opinion, you might look beautiful to somebody for a few seconds, a few minutes, but
Right.
eventually the ugly gonna come out, because if you feel ugly, you're gonna bring the ugly out in some kind of way, right?
Yep.
So, and if you feel beautiful on the inside, it don't matter what your appearance look like. The beauty is gonna spread to everybody else, and that's when they see the real beauty, right? The heck with the physical part. Just be beautiful, and then let that spread. So I think just the world need more of that than trying to. It's like these guys, right? You go to a nightclub and you see a guy with some sunglasses on in a nightclub, right? You
Mm.
can't. You Walmart don't sell cool, right? You can't go to the mall and buy cool. You can't even order cool online.
Yeah. Right.
Either you're cool or you're not cool. It's just something that's inside of you that makes you cool. You could put on all the sunglasses in the world, but you look like an idiot standing in a dark nightclub with sunglasses on. So, but that's the world we living in, you know what I mean? Or somebody trying to dress sexy, right? If you're sexy, you're sexy. You can't. They don't sell sexy at the mall, right? They don't sell it online. They don't sell it. It's something that's inside of you that makes you sexy. You see what I'm
Right.
saying? You can put on all the short skirts, or these guys are walking around with tank tops on, and it's 50 degrees outside because they want to look sexy or look hot. They don't sell sexy. You know what I mean? You just look more like an idiot, in my opinion. You know what I mean? So I think just people need to really be in tune with who they are. Bring that inner self out of you. That's sexy to people. That's cool to people. Be you. So I just think, once people tap into that and just be themselves, man, the world will be a much better place, in my opinion.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And I totally agree with that. And like your character and integrity goes a long way,
Right.
and especially in like when you're trying to do a business and all that stuff. Something that stuck with me years ago was I don't remember who taught it, but I remember when they were talking about Michael Jordan, like how everybody just like ran to his shoes or whatever, right? And the world couldn't figure out what was it about these shoes, because anybody can buy a pair of shoes, but they were like what, $500 or whatever. But what they said was what they were buying wasn't the product. They were buying his character, like his integrity, all of that. And I was like, that actually makes sense. It's not the actual product, it's who you are, like as a person, and how you represent yourself in your business, in your life, in everything, and not be so thirsty in life. They're thirsty in the right way, but not so like desperate,
Right.
where it just leaks and everybody just sees, or they can smell it and see it. And like you said, those sunglasses, and I'm like, I always looked at that like weird too. Like I was like, okay, whatever, and even men told me, because I like, and when I was back in the bars, I wasn't that type to, I danced and all that stuff, and I dressed the part, but I wasn't playing the part. You know what I mean? Like being in that whole thing, I had rules, and like, but one of the guys had told me, they said, we will actually buy you a drink and not them, because you're actually not thirsty. Men don't want to, they'll have sex with the girl, like that's what they're portraying, and that's it. There's no respect to the woman when they're dancing all up in the air, and I was like, I got it. But it was just interesting to hear a lot of men say that in different aspects of my life, just in a conversation. So and it saddens me that women and even men they can't be their true selves, because everybody bullies somebody. The bullying has gotten so bad in this world. You can't just come out and just be like, yep, I like stuffed animals. Hey, like, okay, this should be all right, whatever. That's you, like, or whatever. And instead it's like, oh my God, you can't be doing that. That's not what a actual person's supposed to be doing. There must be something wrong, whatever.
Right.
It's horrible. It's horrific,
Right.
and it's amazing. And that mental health is crazy.
Yeah.
And
Mental health is real. And a lot of people go through it, and that's the thing. Like I said, it's and it's, I think it's way worse. And mental health's been around forever, right?
absolutely.
But I think more so back in the day before the internet and all this other stuff, people could go to somewhere and get help, and it's confidential, so to speak, right? They can go to somewhere and talk, and everybody getting, blasted out. Nowadays, people go somewhere and ask for help, and it's all over the internet. It's, or this person's crazy, or so people are afraid to put themselves out there, because everything gets out into the real world. You know what I mean? So, and then people feed off of other people's unhappiness or what they're going through. You got people that feed off of that out there.
Right.
And it's sad. So that's the crazy part of it. So mental health is something that a lot of people, because we always got this thing where we see somebody doing something or going through something. The first thing we want to say, oh, look at that crazy person.
Right.
The person may not be crazy. The person may be going through something, right? Or the person may have some kind of illness or something, whatever. But the first thing people want to say is, "Oh, look at that crazy person." You know what I mean? I wish people would stop doing that. Go talk to the person. Go see if the person need help. You know what I mean? But when you got self-centered people that, the first time every day they wake up in the morning, it's all about them, right? It's just about them. They woke themselves up. They gonna do whatever they want to do, how they want to do it, and all this other stuff. So, and that's self-centered.
And make a movie or TikTok about it while they're waking up.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's all about them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but that's it. It's crazy, and like I keep saying, that's the world we live in. It's sad that it is, but those are times we are. The internet is so big and so powerful, and people can feel important by hiding behind a computer screen and just writing whatever they want to write or put whatever they want to put out there, no matter at the expense of whoever it is. So, you see it every day. People make up these stories and they push the send button, and it's out there. They can make up something on anybody.
Mm-hmm.
They put it out there, and people that really want something negative to believe, they're going to believe it. Right? Nobody's going to call you and say, hey, is that really true? Or, do you need help or what's going on? No, they're just going to believe it. Then it's that domino effect, the trickle down effect, right? Because everybody likes how many likes and how many views they get. You know what I mean? So we're in a world living in the days and times of that versus, somebody picking up a phone or driving over to somebody's house and, man or woman, do you need help? I'm here for you. So
yeah,
sad.
yeah,
So,
it's very like for me, like I see, and sometimes I go through it too. Sometimes, I have to, I'm not putting on a show, or people, have to put on that happy face in front of others. So, because even though that they're like, literally dying inside, and just wishing somebody would actually see them, like, wait, why are you so happy all the time? Like, kind of thing. Like there's something wrong. Like picking up on you actually knowing you on that other side. And because we can't talk about something to somebody else, we have to be careful who we tell us whatever to. And that's a hard thing. And a lot of people, they commit and, they're gone from the world, and people, just like you said, are just so about themselves. It's kind of hard to be in the world around, especially with your friends or family, if you don't have that, or if you have that and they don't pick up on you. It's crazy, just because you're happy doesn't mean that you're actually happy, like, or you're portraying, like, you have to put on a filter like in this world. It's crazy, and everybody's like, oh, I thought they were just happy all the time. I don't understand why they left this earth and why they did what they did. Well, if you would have checked in, that would have been great. Like, and real, and not bully somebody or abuse somebody or laugh at somebody's expense or whatever, and make them feel unsafe.
Yeah. I have the thing where I always say, and I tell people this all the time, you know what I mean? You show me somebody, if you point at a person that is just angry all the time, right? Every time you see this person is just angry, and you point that person out. I'm going to point at the same person and show you a person that really is searching for love, right?
Yep.
Somebody to love him or her, right? That's all the person is searching for. The person wants to feel love. They want to feel important to somebody, right?
Yep.
I just don't believe you can wake up every day unhappy, right? I don't believe you wake up every day happy, right? You show me a person that's happy every day, I'm going to show you a person that got some real problems, right?
Right.
They're searching for something. They're searching for themselves, right? But the happy part is to just set this illusion like everything is just perfect, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I and that's just my own personal belief. So, but again, you got people that want to be tough all the time because they don't want everybody to see that soft side, to know that they have a soft side. And then you got these other people that want people to think they're happy all the time because they want people to think their life is just so great. No,
right.
You got problems just like the rest of us, right?
Yeah.
But they're so afraid of people knowing that they have problems. So again, and that's this whole illusion thing and I don't blame everything on the internet or social media. It's just certain people, and every one of us wake up with problems every day. I don't care who you are, how much money you got, how much money you don't have. Everybody wake up and face some kind of problem throughout the day, right? Just some people handle it differently than others. You got people that soon as something happens, it's the end of the world for them because they've been fed with a silver spoon their whole life, right? Yep. Then you got people that are used to dealing with adversity, so they handle it a certain type of way. But none of us are exempt when it comes to problems. None of us are exempt when it comes to facing adversity. It's out there. As soon as you walk outside your door, adversity is out there. Whether it finds you today, tomorrow, next week, next year, whatever, it's gonna find you sometime, and someday, and you better be prepared to deal with it or know how to handle it. You know what I mean? Because worrying don't change tomorrow, right? Stress is not your best friend, and anxiety don't give a damn about you, right?
Yeah, right.
So you can go through all of those types of things, but at the end of the day, that adversity is still going to be there. The same problem is going to be there, and all of that. Just learn how to deal with it to the best that you can. Leave the rest to God, and that's that. In my opinion. So, and that's how I choose to handle things. So. Stress just kind of shave years off your life. And if I see somebody else going through something, I go talk to that person. I go try to help them find a solution to something. There's always a solution to every problem.
Mm-hmm.
People just don't know how to find the solution to the problem. So, but I'm in the belief that there's a solution to every problem. So.
Absolutely. And you provide a safe, like your character, your integrity, you can feel that. So it provides a safe feeling for somebody when you come up to somebody And, you know, like that, all that, like that matters, like how we present ourselves and how, like, because that stuff is real. You can smell it, see it, feel it, all of that. And, you know, and so like finding that peace within is very important.
Yeah.
And I noticed that you always go up into the, you know, on your walks and journeys and stuff like that, you know, and I do that too. I just been stuck in the house for a minute, unfortunately. But that's where I find my peace within, is doing all that stuff. Your journeys and your walks, would you like to talk about that a little bit?
Sure. My journey, and I always use the word journey because I believe that we're all on a journey. I believe that every second, everything we go through is a part of our journey. It's a part of what's already been laid out, whether we realize it or not. And it's kind of like, and I see this all the time. This is an analogy I use to myself, and I tell myself this all the time. It's like, say if you got two cars sitting at a stoplight, right? And then the next stoplight is 1 mile down the road, and one car just takes off so fast, right? I mean, he's up to 100 before he gets to the next stoplight, and when he gets to the next stoplight, he got to stop. And I'm driving 50 miles an hour, and as soon as I get up to the light, he's sitting there. What he missed was everything in between those two stoplights. It might have been something there so amazing that you can only get to see one time. But I got to see it because I was actually paying attention. I was actually enjoying the trip in between those two lights versus being in such a rush to get to. Now, he thought he was going to be able to get to the next light, but it just happens to change before he got there, and he had to stop. But he missed everything in between. So that's how I look at the journey. I try to see and embrace and cherish everything along the way. You know, I take time to breathe. That's what going up into the mountains or getting around water. And I take time to breathe. I take time to reflect. I take time to, you know, think and block out all the noise, you know, and the wilderness and the you know, being around water is kind of like my headphones to life.
I get it. Yeah.
When I'm out there, I don't hear anything.
Right.
Except the beautiful things that I need to be hearing. And I can, you know, and I talk to God, and I talk to, you know, people think you're crazy when you talk to yourself. No, I don't believe that. I talk to myself all the time. I mean,
and the height, the altitude, it's a whole different aspect or looking at things, you know, and yeah, no, I totally get it.
Yeah. So, and I try to get in tune with myself and really find out what's important to me. What's important for me to leave when the good Lord calls my home. What am I going to leave my children? You know, my grandchildren. So those are the things I think about. And I'm just so drawn to nature and the ocean. If I didn't know no better, if I didn't really know I was born in a hospital, I would think I was born out in the wilderness, you know, or my mom was laying on the beach having me or something, because I'm so drawn to that stuff. So, but I think it's just me wanting to be in tune with nature, and I understand energy. I understand we're all walking energy, right? So you gravitate to whatever energy is pulling you. It could be negative energy. If you want to gravitate toward it, that's going to pull you towards it. Mm-hmm. It's positive energy. If you want to gravitate toward it, that's going to pull you towards it. So, and that's what I talk about when it's on the journey. It's this journey that I'm on. It's I'm in a much better place mentally, emotionally, and spiritually at this point in my life than I was years ago. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So, and that's just all a part of the journey. So,
you gonna write a book on it?
Definitely gonna do that. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be kind of cool. Kind of have like a little journal for others to utilize too, with like little pictures from your journey kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that would be kind of cool
Yeah.
because it's very important. And I noticed like going up and even in the mountains, definitely the altitude, but like the breathing is different. Like my whole breathing aspect changes and it goes into a different level of breathing. And I was like, oh, well, that's different, you know, and I love it, you know, and I understand in the Bible going up on the mount a lot better. Like, you know, I'm like, oh, that's what they were getting, you know, because I did talk to God and, you know, and all that stuff. And he told me like, because I did the valley as well right before. And you know, we had the eagles down on the bottom, you know, and the fish and all the noise, you know, good noise, still in the wild, but good noise. But also when I got up to the glacier and it was on the top of the mountain, that was a journey in itself on my end, showing me that I can do things. I was before all these surgeries. I couldn't even walk a couple paces, and I just was like, you know what? And then this guy told me in the mountain, like you said, with that car, like looking at different things. The guy sat there, and he was hurt. His wife went on, and we were in the middle of the mountain, you know, and she went on to go see what needed to be seen. And he didn't. He sat there in the middle, and I saw the spot, and it was just the rock. And then, it was a little harder. I couldn't even climb it. I was afraid of the mountains and falling off the mountain. But I was like, you know what? I'm not going to let anybody see something that I'm supposed to go see myself. I am going to track right through it, no matter how much I hurt. I crawled like and held on to that little vine or whatever. My friend, she was like, are you okay? I was like, nope, I got it. I will figure it out. You know, bears were around, you know, and walking around near us and all that stuff. And I crawled to the top, and I wasn't that far off, but I had to go see. And after that, I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna let nothing stop me at this point. You know, that man reminded me of to never sit and wallow in your adversity or whatever you're going through, and just stay there and let somebody else go. Like, yeah, you can get 5 minutes, you know, just the rest, just enough so you can get your strength back, but never let somebody else see what you were supposed to see at the end. Right. You know, right. And after that, I mean, I walked 23 miles up the mountains in 2 hours, like in different places, and I was still hurting. It was almost 300 pounds, you know what I mean? And still all that stuff. I took what I needed to do, and the photography took me a lot of places, but it really, talking with God has been like the thing. So that's how I get through my surgeries. Like 8 days later, I'm out in the mountain. You can forget it. You are not letting me stay in the house. I don't care. Like, we will figure it out. Like, I got one arm now, you know what I mean? Kind of thing. And I was like, oh, stupid. I can't hold my camera kind of thing, you know? And I'm like, oh my gosh, like this sucks. But I'll let the rest, you know, but I get it. Like, you've got to stop and see the different parts of the mountain, the different parts of, like, and looking, and I, you know, and he called it the Valley of the Chatterlings. He was like, you can stay with them. And it's almost like being in the, I'm not saying church is bad, but like you're hearing in life, all these chattering people, like just chat, but you need to go higher, you know, to hear him. And I hear him clearly. I said, oh, okay. So, you know, he's like, stay there for a moment. Yeah. Even go higher. Like, and then come back down and you'll be a better person. Cool. Like, sounds good to me, you know? So, you know, and no, that journey is very, very sweet. It's nice. I wish other people would enjoy it, you know, in their, wherever they're at, finding that in their lives, and paying attention more in their lives.
Yeah. Well, the thing too, what I've learned just about people, period. Some people live life, and then some people let life live them, right? I refuse to let life live me.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna live life until I just can't live no more. So until the good Lord calls me home, I'm gonna live. And then you got people that just they're alive, but they just existing, right? They're
Yep.
just existing. They're not living life. They're not enjoying life, and that's why when I talk about the journey, that's what I'm talking about. I am living life and I'm enjoying this journey because one day it's all going to end,
Yep.
right? For each and every one of us. So I'm going to live it. I'm going to cherish it. I'm going to embrace it. I'm going to whatever, the good, the bad, and the ugly, right? Because you learn from all of it, and all of it molds us. So that's what when I talk about when I'm talking about the journey. So.
Yeah, we're not going to carry all this stuff. There's no point in stressing. When I think about the grave, I think about there's no U-Haul. We're not bringing all of our houses and families and all that. What we can do is give out what we learned on our journey and share the what we need, and so that the other person can help be healed too.
Right.
But all that's the stress, it's not going to matter. Like, why are we having anxiety over a man or a woman and all this mess or it doesn't matter. like it matters in a way, but it doesn't. There's no reason to be mad every single day and keep that grudge at all. Like, it's like, okay, whatever, keep it moving. Like, there's no point. Keep the bullet points and just keep it on your vision, on being who you are created to be.
Right.
And yeah, we work. A lot of people they work, and like you said, they don't live. They didn't do anything that was what they were supposed to, but just working for money to be able to survive in a home, and stuff like that. But we have a lot more to do on this earth than just work or, to go to a job, which is just over broke. So like, yeah, there's more things and we got to find that.
Right.
But yeah, that's that whole pay attention. Yeah. I work, like, I really get it. Like, but I really hope other people figure that out.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely a necessity.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So all y'all need to go out and go live. Just saying, just go have a walk, away from the city. I'm just being real, because the city has all the toxins and all that stuff in the air, all that. Just get out and go somewhere where, like, there's no other hustle and bustle that you have to think about, and watch out your problems. You can see your problems are like this minute, like you can't even see it. Like, that's how he showed me where my house is, on the top of the mountain inside of Anchorage. There's, he said, well, you see where, that's where your house is. You could technically, I don't see my house, but I know the area. He said, your problem was way down there. You can't even, you're high enough to, like, you see the ocean, you see all this stuff. What's the problem? Right. Like, it's so little. But when we're close to the house, like when I get to the house, my problem is so huge, or whatever I was thinking about. And I was like, I come back, I'm like, oh, well, it is what it is at this point. I don't care. Like, it changed my mindset. Like, yeah, so I just go out and drive. It's it. Like, boo-hoo it all got all the way down the highway. I don't care at this point, but then I see the whales, and then I see the moose, the bears. It is always there, they're there. So I was like, thank you. I will drive home now. I appreciate it. Like, kind of thing. Man. So what else is going to go on in your life now? Like, how's everything going on the family side? And what? No, you don't have to do specifics or anything, but like, now that I think you moved, didn't you?
Yeah, I moved back I moved back to Tucson for a year, and then I moved back up here to the Phoenix area. And everything is going great. I mean, blessed, like I said before. But yeah, everything's going great with the family. My kids are good. Grandson is good. So getting big. And yeah, everything is it's good. So can't complain.
That's good. That's
Mm.
good. Are you away from like your mom and all that now, or are you like closer to her, like to where you guys can hang out and just enjoy
No,
barbecue?
my mother lives in Oregon.
Oh, way out yonder.
Yeah, she's in Oregon, but she comes to Arizona. I'm going up there actually next month,
Okay.
Oregon. So yeah, so I get to see her, yeah, hang out. But yeah, she's my mother's my rock. So you know, when I heard there would be no me, so gotta
That's
take
true.
care. Yeah, gotta take care of mama. So
Well, she definitely raised, and you can definitely tell she prayed for her child, you know, uh, like, because your character and your integrity is actually impeccable. Like, I've met a lot of people,
thank you.
and it's, I'm not trying to blow smoke up your behind or nothing like that, but you can definitely tell that you are a person who keeps his word, like a man's man kind of thing. Like it's different than what we see around this earth right now. And you're on point. Like you know what you want, you do what you need to do, and you keep it moving. Like and then you keep it real. And so from yeah, and I can definitely tell that like you're someone who can actually be trusted. Like
Thank
that's
you.
for sure. Yeah. Like and um you can tell she raised a good one.
Thank
For
you.
sure.
Thank you.
That,
Yeah.
your family, like all that you could tell. And it's about your community, who you're around,
Right.
that needs to happen. So you can tell your
Yeah.
community is pretty good, pretty
Yeah.
tight.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm a reflection of her. I look like her, everything. So, and then my dad, he passed away in 2016. But you talking about a great human being. I mean, my father was. I mean, that was my hero. Just, I mean, watching this man, and that's where I get a lot of my traits from him. You know
Mm,
what I mean? I don't care how much pain that man was in. He was going to go to work. He was going to provide for his kids. He was going to make sure everybody around him was taken care of, and so I'm built from that cloth like that. So I owe that all to them. I'm just a reflection of them, and
mm.
really, and I say this all the time too. God drives the ship, and I just happen to be a passenger on it. So, um, you know, so it's those three. God, starting with God. So my mom and dad. So
Absolutely. And I hope a
thank
lot of people, whoever you meet, receive, and receive the actually truly receive the love that you have to give and the wisdom that you give out, to be able to help them out and to move forward and to heal, and to really, like, even if it's just a little plant or a seed or
you.
something, like something remembered, like,
Yeah,
because it is worth hearing, because a lot of people need to have, this world needs a lot more of people like you, and and all that to come back into, like, hey, let's shake things up real quick, let's bring that back, bring it in, reel it back,
yeah,
and it's just needed. I mean,
yeah,
even living out here, we don't, I'm not saying this as a mean thing, like just even going on dates, we don't know what we're dating. Like it's
yeah,
dangerous, it's scary,
yeah,
really. We don't know, and it's like portrayed
yeah,
as, oh yeah, we're good people, blah blah blah. I'm like, uh-huh. And then once you get into it, next thing you know, 5 minutes later, we're getting killed, whatever it is. You
yeah,
just know. So
yeah.
stay.
You know what? You just said something, and I think I've always wanted to talk about this. So can I talk about it? Can I say,
Absolutely.
you just said something, but and I've been interviewed by a lot of people, but for some reason you just said something that makes kind of. I think I've always wanted to talk about this, but of where I get, because I love to love, right? And I think just love is something that drives me. But I think where that comes from is because I've been hurt to my core many a times, right? In life, period. Like all of us, right? But I see people and I know people that when they get hurt, especially to their core, they tend to want to go and hurt other people because
Right.
they've been hurt or because they're hurting. And I've always been the opposite. I've always been the type where I would say, like, man, I don't like that feeling. So I'm not going to inject that on somebody else. I'm not going to go do that to somebody else or treat somebody else like that. I'm going to do the opposite. I'm going to allow that pain and all of that to help me show people that love is the way, right? This stuff
Mhm.
ain't. So I've always been that type in that way. And again, I think I get that from my father because he was like that. That man never knew a stranger, right? And I never seen him ever. I can't remember a time where I seen him treat somebody other than the way he wanted to be treated. And I don't care if he met you this second, the next second, it was a guy, he was calling him brother. If it was a woman, he was calling her sister. He would genuinely show that person love. So me watching him kind of injected that needle into me, so to speak. And again, like I said, I've been hurt to my core, whether it's been by family, whether it's been by a girlfriend, whatever. But I refuse to inject that anger and that hurt on the other people. I would just turn it into love, like, you know what I mean? Like, man. And not only that, I love me enough to where I know I don't have to go do that to somebody else, right? I love
Right.
me, right? I love me enough. And so I think that's why I'm kind of like that. And I get on social media and I'm always talking about, love is the greatest thing on the planet when used correctly. And I've had actually people message me back like, well, how can't love be used correctly? Well, if you're acting like you like somebody, but you really don't, and you're just saying those words, then that's love not being used correctly, right? Love being used correctly is saying the word, meaning it, and then showing it at the same exact time, not just showing it. I mean, not just saying it. That's using love correctly, not taking advantage of somebody else's love because you know they love you, and then you're
Right.
trying to take advantage of it. That's not using love correctly. So, um, so I think that's kind of like I said, why I'm that type, and I'm not afraid to talk about love. I'm not afraid to talk about I want to find love or I want to be in love. I'm not afraid to talk about any of that. Right? Other people's opinions don't make me. Right?
Right.
I don't wake up searching for opinions or caring about opinions. You know what I mean? So um, I just kind of, like I said, and I said all the time, and I'll continue to say it. God drives the ship, and I just happen to be a passenger. So, and whatever that entails, and I'm just gonna keep on talking about love, and people need to love each other, because I love everybody. You know what I mean? I might not like everybody or like their ways, but it don't mean I don't love them as a human being.
Yeah,
Right.
that's how God is with us. Like he loves us. He
Right.
created us, in
Right.
his image, and he just doesn't like our actions.
Right.
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 Yeah. Love is an action word.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. So yeah, and I think that's important. So for the action part of it, for people to kind of um, see and feel that you love them, that they're truly love. And that's why I said, if you show me somebody that's walking around angry all day, I'll show you a person that needs a hug. That same person that you point at, that person need a hug. That person needs somebody to say, I love you, and not just say it, but show it,
right.
and if a mountain can be chiseled at and dynamite can blow holes in it, you know what I mean? Pretty sure love can blow holes into somebody's anger and kind of reverse that kind of thinking or those feelings, and they can say, hey, I am important to somebody. Somebody does really care. You know what I mean? And they can start chiseling away that anger and all that tough stuff and whatever, and then that person can start to receive the love. Because in order to give love, you got to be able to receive it, right?
Right.
You can't just give it out, but you don't want to receive it. That's not possible. You got to be able to receive it in order to give it back. So I think that's where, like I said, my ways of thinking like that, and that's why I'm always talking about it, because and letting people know that love is, the key to anything. So, and loving yourself, because it all starts with yourself. You gotta love yourself in order to love somebody else.
Right. And that's where we were talking about the mental health. Like you said, there are people that need that love. And so, and being able to receive it, it's kind of hard if you were hurt, to receive it. It's like almost trying to go up to a rabbit, like you want to show love, to that rabbit. And you're like, but you have to like literally sit there for a while and just do whatever you need to do. That's showing love kind of thing. Like you're there, you're consistent in the life, and like, oh, okay, and then the rabbit will just come kind of, instead of darting off, it'll just like, all right, well, I'm going to eat over here, in your presence, we're still doing it, and that patience and compassion going in on that. Like, I really truly believe that, yeah, like we have to be like patient with the person, and it's gonna hurt, and it's gonna, I'm just going to say, it's just going to piss you off sometimes, but coming back at it and seeing it in a different light, it's like, oh, well, it's not about me. It's literally how they're putting up a wall. They're quote unquote biting, like a dog would, like my dog did, he just was, they were just abandoned, so they're in flight or fight mode. So you have to close that door in a way, and just create the fence, a safe fence for them to just be able to shoot off and be like, all right, well, okay, well, anytime they shoot off, like, listen, that's not cool, but I'm here. Like, but don't let it overpower you, like, but just give them a safe place, and then eventually it'll just start to be okay, and they'll be able to receive it better. But yeah, it's giving that time. We can't just jump into relationship thinking it's gonna fix the problem. Really, it's not. Like you said, we gotta heal and come into it better. Friend first, kind of thing. That's what I believe, is being a friend first, and seeing how they act and whatever. And eventually, if it's supposed to be, it's supposed to be. If it's not, it's not. But you're still their friend or whatever. And I mean, that's a lot of work. And that's what a lot of people nowadays don't want to do. They, a lot of divorces and all of that. Once they get married, it's like, oh, well, they just yelled at me, I'm just going to get divorced. Oh, okay. Why? Like, just talk it out, man. Like, coats do something else properly, but talk it out. Like, don't get divorced. Like,
right. Well, that's what I say, though. When you got people that's not used to facing adversity, right? And then when adversity comes, they get scared to death and they want to just dart off, right?
Yeah.
Life is full of adversity. But if you're willing to face the adversity, and deal with it, and realize that life isn't always just about fighting, right? Fighting your way through something. Sometimes you can actually sit down and be calm and talk about something, right? And when I say fighting, I'm not talking about fighting with somebody. I'm just talking about fighting with life itself, or fighting to get, you're supposed to go do whatever it is, but you're fighting because you really don't feel like going, right?
Right.
So, but you're fighting against it. I really don't want to go. But if you just get up and go, and it could turn out to be some great thing that happens, right? But you never know if you don't get up and go. So we're always fighting against something.
Exactly.
I think that's just kind of human nature, but that's what separates, to me, and I always talk about greatness, right? Greatness awaits each and every one of us. It's like doing the little things when nobody's looking, right? It's like going to do the tough things when you really don't feel like doing it. Go get to it. that's what greatness to me is, right? It's like you see the, Patrick Mahomes, so to speak. They go on the road and everybody's booing him. He don't hear that stuff. You know what I mean? He has a job to do. Now the other guys, there might be other guys there that they're hearing the boos, so they don't play as well, right? They don't deal with adversity well. But you have those people that block out all of that stuff, or it drives them. You know what I mean? It kind of, it's like Popeye and his spinach, right? That it just gives them energy. So, and I think each and every one of us has it in us. It's just not everybody's able to tap into it, or they don't want to tap into it, or whatever the reason may be. But I think it's just life, period. It's sort of full of adversity. Like I said, as soon as you walk out the door, there's no piece of apple pie out there waiting on you. You know what I mean? Rough world out there.
Right.
Yeah, it's a rough world out there. And you better be prepared to deal with something when it comes.
And that's the word, is prepared,
Prepared, right.
And that's like I can only use my examples. Like, so when God put me through all these surgeries, a lot of people can't handle just the one. I've done 8 in 5 years, right? And it's like back to back to back to back to back. And I've been doing this practice. I have people that help me, but I've been in my home by myself, having to do with 2 neck surgeries, a hysterectomy, I'm dealing with my shoulder surgery, the rotator cuff and all that. And I have to literally, and then the bariatric, all of it, spine surgeries, done it. And so before, he would always give me, and it would be like some weird stuff, just random thoughts. And like, okay, so I'm like, there's a weird, like a year ahead. Okay, so bariatric, I have no idea what this is. And I didn't even want the surgery. You know what I mean? And I had my folder prepared, everything prepared before the surgery was even thought of. Yeah. Right. And so it just went quickly, just like this, and like everything I had to do. Okay. I had to do like 4 MRIs, get it all done in 2 weeks. Every surgery had to have like a back-to-back instead of just waiting the next year. Why wait? To me, why wait? Just get it done. If I got to suffer for the whole day, with all these stupid appointments or whatever, and it's just like my thing. Then I'm on top of that in college doing 2 degrees, and I chose to do that. It's not something, but like he had me prepare my dishes. He had me prepare everything, the food that I'm going to eat ahead of time before the surgery. So I'm not stuck in a situation where now after the surgery, what the heck? I can't carry nothing. Nope. I have paper plates. I have whatever I need to do. I can do this. I can do that. And that's just any situation that we're in. And I'm like, when people are in that pity party, I'm like, well, why? Like, if I'm able to do this, I think you can too. Like, what is it that's the problem? Like, I'm, and I'm not trying to be mean, but I just don't, like, in my brain, I don't understand the sitting around and being in the pity party portion of things.
Right.
I don't get it,
Yeah.
I have passion, but I just don't get it.
Yeah. Well, nobody's going to always run to the rescue, right? Sometimes you got to rescue yourself, because there's not going to be somebody there to come to the rescue. But if you're not in that, if you don't have that mentality and that kind of that drive, so to speak, then you are going to have people sitting there until they get, sores on their behind and from sitting, so to speak. So, and they always want something to fall in their lap, or they feel, and then when the person sitting right next to them receive the blessing that they probably were supposed to receive.
Exactly.
Then they're mad at the next person. So, we can all sit around and, point the finger at everybody else or try to put the blame on everybody else. You gotta look in the mirror sometime. You gotta, if you're that type of person, you got to look in the mirror and you got to say, you know what, the problem is you, nobody else.
Yep.
I need to change me, or I need to change whatever. You know what I mean? And if you're tired of you, then change you. Nobody else gonna change you. If you're tired of you, change you.
Right.
So, and stop pointing the finger at everybody else. You know what I mean?
And stop feeling entitled.
And stop
Like
feeling entitled. Yes, exactly.
entitlement of and having everybody else doing it for you. That's like, or getting mad that everybody else is not doing it for you.
Right.
Like feeling entitled to their world. It's like, no.
Right.
It's not their money. It's not your life. I mean, your life is your life, but their life is not your life. You know,
Right.
that's not their time is not, you're not entitled to their time.
Yeah.
You know?
Like I said, you know, again, that's the world we're living in. You know, it's I hear people all the time, you too, like, you know, they'll see somebody with a certain outfit on and they like, why is that person wearing that? You know, and I have literally told people this, you know, did you ever think that person bought that outfit with you in mind? Like, I'm gonna buy this because this person is gonna like it? No, they bought the outfit because they like it. You know what I mean? You don't have to like what the person have on. That ain't why they bought it. That's not why they're wearing it. You know what I mean? So everybody gets so caught up into what the next person is doing or not doing or wearing or not wearing or whatever all that other stuff is. You know, worry about you when it comes to all of that stuff. You know what I mean? They can sit there and point out what the person is wearing, but if the person is over there acting a little strange, they're not gonna go over there and ask the person if they're okay. The person fall out on the floor, they're not gonna go over there and ask the person if they're okay. Right? They're gonna turn around and walk off. They don't want that problem, but you always want to worry about what the person got on.
Or they want to nowadays put the phone on the person to get the views of that person suffering in that situation. It's crazy.
Yeah, exactly. So, and then they're wondering why they're not receiving any blessings, right? You can't sit around being negative all day and then just think, you know, positive is just gonna come knock at your door, right? And say, hey, let's have a conversation. It don't work like that.
Right.
You know, you breathe negative and you think negative, everything is negative about you, and that's pretty much what you're gonna attract. You know, and same thing, you think positive, you're a positive person, all that, then that's what you're gonna attract, you know. And I really believe we are who we think we are. So if you know, I've had people coming to me too, or they'll write me, you know, somebody will write me and, you know, Shug, you think you all of that. So my response to that is, oh, they think you know, they'll say, you just think you too good. And I'll say, no, you just don't think you good enough. Right?
The comeback.
It ain't that I think I'm too good. You just don't think you're good enough. Right? So if you thought you were good enough, you wouldn't be telling me that I think I'm too good, because you would think you're right there with me.
Right.
There's not a person on this planet that I think is better than me.
Right.
As a human, and not that I think I'm better than anybody. What I'm trying to say is that we're all equal, right?
Yeah.
I don't think I'm better than anybody. I don't think I'm below anybody. We're all equal. So people that walk around with that, or thinking somebody or that person think they're too good. No. You start thinking better about yourself, you wouldn't have to worry about what that person is thinking. Right?
Exactly.
Think you're good enough. If you think you're good enough, you'll feel like you're on the same level as that other person. So now there are people that are very, very arrogant. Sure. Right. Those are people that have got personal problems, in my opinion. Right.
Yep.
And again, that's like the person that's walking around trying to portray that they're happy all the time.
Mm-hmm.
No. And that's probably the person that's running behind the building crying and then coming back around the building acting like they're happy.
And that's where we need to be more in tune, you know, and to really, that's all the person wants, is somebody to see them, not the filter. to
Right.
really see beyond what they're actually saying. The words don't matter. It's what you hear, and be in between the words,
Right.
and the smile.
Right.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's just character and integrity. Keeps coming back to that, like how we treat each other. And smiling, I believe that a smile is anointed to break chains. You just, if you're in the right position and you smile, like you just walk by somebody and then just randomly smile at that person. It could be a homeless person. It doesn't matter. You open the door for somebody. Oh, I like your shirt. And then that was like the one smile they had for the whole day. Nobody else smiled, but it broke something, like that whole persona that they had of anger. Like, wait, somebody actually smiled at me? Like, it could be the start. And if we walk around thinking that, just that kind of a thing could work, being that one person, maybe that one person in life. Because I had a patient that he was so angry. Like, he hated everybody. Like, I think he fired a lot of people. I was just the one that he actually cared for. And he was a little bit difficult, but he actually thanked me. And that's where I got that from, was he said, everybody else yelled at me. And every time. And he goes, I can't get out of the house. I can't do nothing. But he said, you actually stayed and you didn't fight me. You told me what it was, but you were the one good thing that happened in my life during that day. I was like, that's pretty powerful, and I after that, I started thinking about people that way. If I can be that one good thing, it doesn't matter. I don't have to quote scriptures all day or whatever. Just being there in that presence, and while I'm in the presence of that person, something positive that they actually can be like, okay, when I look back on my day, that was the one thing that was positive. And and just really sticks, being that seed. And he broke down, and I was like, wow, all right. That a lot of patients helped me. And but yeah, that was just really powerful on how we look at the world. Great. Staying out of ourselves. And then just cry in between. Like, like, man, but pray to God. I felt like I could pray to God and be like, listen, I'm angry, dude. Like, I can feel safe enough to tell God in my own little venue, like, all right, listen, it's either you or me, and I prefer it to be you. Like, that's how I literally say, like, look, I can't do it. I will not leave here until you fix it. I'm not doing this. I can be all angry all I want in the presence of him behind closed doors and not in front of a person. I try so hard. I was an angry person, but I try so hard not to be that angry. And I always try to be that, I don't want to show it in a fake way. Like, I always have to make sure that I'm, even when I'm in the moment, I don't want to talk. If you see me quiet, it's because I'm trying to put it into like I'm going to come at you with love, but it's going to take me a moment. I don't hate you in the moment. It's just, I have to figure out how to fix my face, and my heart, and then come back at you, but give me my moment. Don't let me fight you, because I will come across the stupid. I've done it. I was bad back in the day, but it just, I never want to be fake. Even when I'm angry, I don't want to be fake about it. But I don't believe that in a relationship of any sort, if we can be in a business meeting, right? I look at this way too. If we can be in a business meeting and not have to fight and scream and throw dishes or whatever it is at a person, or take somebody off this earth or whatever, and we can sit down and talk about the ideas. We can have I don't like the idea, you know, and all that stuff or whatever, and we can still talk it out. I believe we can still do that in a marriage and you know, with their mom and your dad, your sisters, your brothers and friends and family. You can sit and talk about it. You can have your disagreements, but also come back at it in a different light, like in a business meeting. It's like, okay, well, here's the problem. This is how I can fix it. I don't know about you. This is where it's at, you know? Yeah. So that's where I stand with all that. So I apologize for going off on that rant.
Oh, no problem.
But is there anything else on your heart that you want to come out on?
No, not really. That was just something I think I was wanting to talk, wanting to share. I probably would have been wanting to share that forever. You know what I mean? We just never got the opportunity to in an interview. But this right here, and what I like about this, I think my second time you interviewed me, right? It don't feel like an interview. It feels more like a conversation, right? Which I love that. It feels just, you know, just like two people having a conversation. So thank you for that.
I appreciate you for saying that, because that's what I want it to be, is more of the conversations. You know, talk about your life, what's going on, anything that you wanted to come up with. Like, I thank you for being vulnerable and sharing your, you know, what you wanted to share. Because it's a hard thing to do. But that's it's a safe space technically. And I will fight off all the trolls. I'm just being real. So, like, I don't play with all that. This is family, you know, like anybody that comes into contact, it's family, and it's a safe place to whatever. Yeah. So yeah, that's where I want it to be. And I think the first time it was just, we didn't know each other technically.
Yeah.
So kind of like, you know, where are we at here? But now after so many, it helps. Like, you know, but I appreciate you coming back on.
Oh, no problem. I appreciate you having me. So yeah, appreciate it.
Yeah. So whatever project you're on, let me know. I'll keep following you. But
yeah. Once the album is done, all that stuff, I'll be contacting you. I want to get back on here and talk about the album and stuff. So I think it's the album is, I can't wait for it to be done. It's gonna be crazy. It's I call it a grown up album. It's called Three Faces. This is what I'm doing. So but it's just, man, yeah. The tracks are crazy. Subject matters are gonna be crazy. So I'm really looking forward to the world hearing it.
Are you going to be doing it just like the Pay Attention, like doing the video and all that stuff? Like every video or every song has a video, or like how is that going on nowadays? Like, instead of CDs, you know, like it's kind of harder, isn't it, to do all that? Like, you know, back in the day, it was always MTV or BET. You know, you put out a video, there's a CD that comes out that we go into the store and go buy, and then, you know what I mean. And then now it's just like CDs are kind of gone. Like, now it's just all online.
Yeah, well, everything now is, I mean, just internet stuff. So you can't make a video to every song if that's what you choose to do. No, I won't be making a video to every song. Just like the singles and stuff like that. But yeah, not a video to every song. But I'm excited about this. Probably think it's gonna be my best stuff I've done. Yeah, I'm just looking forward to the world hearing it. So it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be great. And I think it's gonna be, like I said, an album that people can put on from song number 1 and listen to it all the way to song number 14.
And that's a good CD, or a good, I'm just gonna call it a CD, a good record, all that stuff. Yeah, because skip.
Yeah, and you know, today, and kudos to every rapper out there, every musician, period, whatever genre of music they're in. And there are some great artists out there. I just think on the whole, music nowadays don't have any substance in it. You know what I mean? It's you really can't understand what a lot of these rappers are saying. You can't. To me personally, a lot of stuff don't even make sense. But you know, kudos to them. So I just want to give people something that they can listen to, something they can grasp onto, something they can feel like, hey, I identify with that. They can hear the words with clarity, and you know, all of that, and they can see a real life guy that is vulnerable. You know, I think we all vulnerable. I'm just happen to be one of these people that ain't afraid to show it.
Right.
Whether it be talking about it, whether it be putting it into my music, whatever is, I'm not afraid of it. So, and that's what they're gonna get on this album. So I just can't wait for people to hear it. You know, it's gonna be fun. So
Yeah, and I think it's a good time for it to come out because of what's going on in the industry and all that stuff. Like people are changing up and they're wanting to go back into that day where it used to have substance. You know what I mean? It's like a yearning. You feel it and you can see it. Like,
exactly.
and it's just it's so strong. And so like, yeah, and with the whole, I'm not even gonna say his name, but like with the whole issues going on with all the different artists that we all knew. So like our whole lives that like are, it's like, wait, what? Just went up in flames. It's like, now who are we supposed to look at, you know? And so wanting good people versus the like just bringing the industry back into a good standing, because it really has like a bad rep right now in a way, you know, and up in, yeah, like even Hollywood's got a bad rep right now. Like, so it's kind of being real as a real person. I think that's where it's going to go.
Yeah.
I see that with the actors as well. You know, I like where everybody's coming out on TikTok, and the actors, like all of it is staying real, showing their real lives. Like, yep, we're just like you. You know, we're not this whole fake thing or whatever. All the fakeness, we're all just like, yeah, whatever. Like just leave it alone.
Yeah.
We'll do you know, whoever's real, you know. And
the industry is built on images, right? It's built on illusions. It's built on taking a person and making them seem like this big thing that's just larger than life, right?
Right.
That's what the industry is built on. It's been like that since day one. The people that you see that are authentic in themselves, those are the ones you really kind of see with the longevity. You know, the ones that come in with this image and, you know, they end the day and out tomorrow, or they drive themselves crazy. You know, Nicki Minaj is somebody I always use as an example. And Nicki is very creative, very great artist and all that stuff. What I always say will come back to haunt Nicki is this character, right? She is so much of a character that when she goes outside the house, she has to be that character because that's what people know her as, this character. And that can be tough to kind of keep up with all the time, being this character all the time.
Especially when you get older.
Exactly.
You just want to settle.
Exactly. So, and that's the thing I'm trying to say is that eventually it starts to wear on you. Believe me, I know a lot of artists, and I see how it wears on them. I see how, you know, when that character's not working anymore, now they're struggling to come up with something, but people don't want to see something else. They want to see that character. And now they're tired of the character, so now they just don't want to see it anymore, period. So, and I've always been like this since I was on Def Jam way back, you know, in the 90s. I'm probably dating myself with some of these youngsters, but oh well. But that used to be every interview I was in, or, you know, people ask me, you know, what's your image? And I would say human. You know, and for a while they was like, what you mean? I'm human. I don't have no image. You know, I laugh, I cry, I hurt, just like everybody else. So I refuse to get caught up in an image. And I understood that way back then, you know, and I still live by that to this day. I refuse to have a quote unquote image. You can think of me however you want to think of me. Just don't call me late for dinner. You know what I mean? So, so to speak. So yeah, and I think that's probably why, you know, bigger things are happening for me now, even way, when it was back then when I was on Def Jam, and big Def Jam, this big huge company. Sure, I had my little taste of fame and all of that, but I think, I even believe it to this day that I wasn't allowed by, I think God kept me from getting huge because I would have went crazy. You know what I mean? I wasn't ready for all that stuff back then. You know what I mean? But I was just as good as any other rapper there is and still is. And still am, just as good as anybody out there. But now is my time. Back then just wasn't my time. But now I'm prepared for it. I'm prepared for the moment. Back then I wasn't prepared for the moment. I was like a deer in headlights. You know what I mean? All these famous people I once watched on TV and all that. Now I'm amongst them, and all that stuff. But I was, at the same time, I refused to like live by an image, a character. And Def Jam did everything in their power to try to give me this image, and I would argue with them like, no, you're not putting that on me.
Right.
You know what I mean? You're not, I'm sure that's who I am. And so people can, listen to the music and they can come up with whatever they want to come up with. But you are not going to label me and throw me in the box. This is your image. No, so I think, thank God I was always strong-minded like that, to have that. And so, here we are now. So.
Yeah. And you can, like, you went through life now, and now your music has the substance that it, you can talk about, like, your experiences or whatever, different life. That's like going to college as an older person versus a young 18-year-old that just left high school and never lived, going through like a psychology class maybe, and just talk about like different things, like, oh yeah, I've been through depression, yeah, like about 20 years of it, kind of thing, and really give a substance to it and really have something to say versus what you want to hear.
Yeah, well, one thing I've always understood is that it's like if you're trying to target this age group, right? Let's say 18 to 25, right? And you're trying to make music for kids 18 to 25. Well, guess what? One day that 18-year-old is going to be 26. The 25-year-old is going to be 35. So they're not thinking that the same way they were as an 18-year-old. They're not thinking the same way as they were as a 25-year-old.
Right.
Their mind has grown. So if your music is still geared towards 18 to 25, now you lost the whole fan base, and you're trying to gain a new one, right? Yeah. That probably is not digging you anyway, because as an artist, you're older, but you're still trying to cater to 18 to 25. So I've always understood that, and you got to, as you mature, your audience is going to mature with you. Now, if you're blessed to gain new listeners within that, great. But your main audience, your main core is going to ride with you, so to speak. Mm-hmm. Right? They don't want to, they don't want to hear you still talking like, now you're older, but you're still talking like an 18-year-old or singing like that does, So I've always understood that. And as long as we are here, even after we're dead and gone, the streets are still going to be here. Real life is still going to be here. People are going to seek love, right? People are going to, because emotions, we're all built up. We all have emotions. We all have feelings. We have all of that. So when you put that into music, you put that pain into music. So Mary J. Blige is still who Mary J. Blige. And when Mary J. Blige came on the scene, her music had pain in it. Mm-hmm. The audience was starving for that, because she seemed so real to them, because she was talking about stuff they actually live in. They're actually going through. She brought that pain to them. She took them with her on her journey. So even her music to today, these youngsters can relate to that because pain is real, right?
Yeah.
Love is real. So that's the power of music, and that's the power of the substance I talk about when I'm mentioning having substance. Um, People starve for each and every one of us crave for that. Now you got your stuff that you want to hear in the nightclubs and all of that. Yeah, cool. Okay, but go to the nightclub for that. You're not gonna sit around at home and listen to that crap all day.
Right.
So you're not gonna get in your car when you're pissed off or you got a bill to pay and all that. You don't want to hear no club music. You want to hear something you can relate to. How am I gonna get through this problem? Right?
Right.
Music is that medicine. So that's when I talk about putting substance back into the game. That's the type of stuff I'm talking about. Giving people something they can feel like, hey, I am Shug Jackson, you know what I mean? Or Shug Jackson is me. Um, that's why Eminem is who Eminem is. And, people used to talk about Eminem being crazy. No, that dude wasn't crazy. That dude was really talking about his real life pain and his stuff he go through, the stuff he's seen, all that. And that's why he's still relevant to this day because he still talks about the same stuff. Everybody goes through that type of stuff, or they know somebody that's going through it. And he's saying stuff that you think, but you're so damn afraid to say it. But he's pulling it out of you, so to speak, because he's saying, yeah. So he's speaking for you, type of thing. So, and to me, that's what great artists do. You kind of try to tap in with your audience, and even that's how you build a new audience by staying engaged and knowing what is going on out there into the streets instead of removing yourself from the streets or removing yourself from real life because now you got millions of dollars. Now you want to remove yourself from everything else. No, stay in tune with what's really going on and stay in tune with life because music is a medicine and life really is our greatest teacher. So I kind of let my music speak about real life. And that's what I'm gonna do with this album. So
Yeah. It's almost like when you were talking, I kept on seeing like how you were talking about Nicki Minaj. She had to put on the hair, the whatever it is to keep that character.
right.
But the real character, like Shug, like the different demographic areas would be like the 18-year-olds, like would be pulling from the character, like a piece of your character of maybe a father figure that they didn't have in life. So like whatever you're saying, it goes into each demographic. Like, people your age would be pulling from a brother kind of character of Shug. You know what I mean? That piece, like you're still you, but everybody needs, and then a woman may need that, I don't know, like the safety of the man. You know what I mean? Feeling that safety of some kind of a man that actually has substance, or whatever. Or it's just like pulling in that direction. That's what I'm seeing. Am I correct on thinking that? Or
No, you're absolutely correct. And that's what I'm saying. Like a person saying, I am Shug Jackson or Shug Jackson is me. Because, I'm trying to, I'm diving down into their deepest emotions or stuff that they're thinking, but they either don't know how to say it or they're afraid to say it. But they can listen to a Shug Jackson song and say, man, this dude is saying what I'm thinking. Or tapping into something remotely even close. So that's the substance type of thing. You know what I mean? It's like taking it's like going to take some medicine that's really gonna fix your problem, and then or somebody trying to sell you something, and they say, it's the same type of medicine, but you open it up and it ain't nothing but water, right? It's in the same type of bottle, but somehow somebody didn't got some water in there, so it ain't, there's no substance in that. So I'm trying to give them the real medicine type of, so to speak. So, and again, that's what I think this album is going to do, and I think the world is really starving for that. So,
absolutely, yeah. Especially if you talk about those real life things that are going on.
Yeah.
Like that would really pull it in. I mean, there's a lot of Yeah, I think that would be the thing, and to really pull on that stuff and really pull on your age, whatever it is, like pulling that character in, it would really benefit, you know. And a lot of people are afraid to be older, and that's, I don't understand that. Like, why would you want to be not older? Like, you earned it. like man, I'd be wanting the discounts and everything. Come on, man.
Well,
Not
yeah,
many people get to live that long to even see that age, or just even 0, like, or 1.
well, it's again, a lot of people don't live in reality, right?
Mm.
Every day you wake up, you're another day older, right? You're not waking up. If you're blessed to wake up tomorrow, you're not the same age as you were today.
That's
You're
true.
you're a day older. So, and people are afraid to live in reality. And that's like the filters and everybody want to look, like I don't know, like they're brand new, so to speak, right? No, you go buy a car off the lot, a month down the road, that car is a month old.
Now,
Right?
even when you pull it off the lot, the depreciation. Yeah,
Exactly. Exactly. Doesn't mean it doesn't mean it's still not a good, it's still a good car.
Right.
Right. It's just a month older. So, and I don't know. And I can only speak for me. I can't speak for everybody else, but me, I cherish every day. It's a blessing. I told, I'm telling the story, but then I gotta get to this meeting.
Absolutely.
But anyway, I was in this store one time. This was a few years back, but this guy was in there. And it was a line of people in there. So I went and got a bottle of apple juice, and I was standing in line. There was 2 older ladies in front of this gentleman, but this gentleman was just going crazy. At first, I thought the guy was playing because he was saying, "It's my birthday. I just turned 68 years old," and he was really, ticked off. I thought he was playing because he kept saying, "I just turned 68, and I don't want to get old," and all this other stuff. So he was scaring the ladies that were in front of him.
Mm.
So I walked up to the guy and you're real calm, and I said, "Excuse me, sir." So the guy kind of looked at me. I said, "Man, when you leave here," I said, "maybe you should drive by a cemetery." And he's like, "A cemetery?" I said, "Yeah, drive by a cemetery. Don't just drive though." I said, "Get out. Go look at some of those headstones in there. There are people in there 1 day old. There are people that, they just live not even a day, right? But they would love to be out here turning 68 years old."
Yeah.
Right? I said, "So you're blessed to be turning 68 years old." And I said, "I pray that one day I'm turning 68 years old." So he just looking at me. So I got back in line. He paid for his stuff and he walked outside the door. And I seen him put his stuff in the car, but then he came and stood right back out, on the outside of the door to the side. So now I'm thinking, okay, well, I probably didn't piss this dude off. I hope this dude don't want to fight because, what I mean? I don't want to be out here fighting with no 68-year-old man. You know what I mean? So anyway, I go outside the door, and this guy tells me, he says, "Excuse me, sir." Didn't say it aggressive or nothing. And I looked and I said, "Yeah." He said, "Nobody's ever said anything to me like that." And he said, "I want to thank you because that made so much sense." And the guy was literally crying. And he said, "So thank you." And he asked me, "Can he give me a hug?" I said, "Sure." This man hugged me like I was his son, right? And he just bawling and bawling. And he kept saying, "Nobody has ever made me realize that getting older is a great thing." I said, "Yeah, I pray that I live to see 68 and beyond." You know what I mean? And we actually exchanged numbers and kept in contact for a little while, right? But maybe God put me there that day for me to be there to tell this person that. So you got people though that they really look at getting older as a curse. You know what I mean? That's a blessing. You know what I mean? That is a blessing. So that's how I look at it. You know, every day is a blessing. You know what I mean? I'd rather get older than the alternative. So, and that's just how it is for me. So, I thank God I was there that day to kind of, you know, calm this guy down because he was he was scaring these women that was right in front of him. And he was literally mad because he was turning 68 years old. I never seen nothing like that. That was crazy. So, but yeah, getting older is a blessing.
It sure is. That's an awesome story, though. Like that just proves on how we have to pay attention
Yes.
into the world around us. And yeah. So I guess with that, everybody, you are valued, you are loved. We see you, and try to see beyond words of the people and see the in between the words. And it takes time to learn how to do that, but to really just be there, ease their way, you know, help the person, whatever it is. You don't have to do much, but it, you know, just something small will make a better day for a person. So yeah, so just pay attention in life, and try not to be angry all the time. It's not worth it. Just please don't, you know, try to be the positive side of things, because we got a lot of negative, and it's very toxic, and it can cause even the most positive person in the world to be crushed, you know, and scared to walk out into this earth or even to Walmart without being thought of being whatever they say, just one word could get them shot. You know what I mean? They're not even paying attention to, you know what I mean? They're doing their own thing and just talking to somebody else in their own life, you know, and just be that positive, please. You know, we appreciate all y'all. We want to hear from you guys. We want to love you guys, and you know, and be a safe place. So fix your character first. You cannot fix everybody else. You can fix you. You are responsible for your feelings, your hurt, whatever it is. That way you're not bleeding onto somebody else. And that being said, here in Alaska, in the Dene language, Chinan means thank you. So thank you, Chinan, for watching. And we are going to end this live. You can contact us at oilrunnerservices@gmail.com. Give us your stories, and or if you want to be a person on this show, just go to Oil Runners. You can rewind and see on the bottom that the email's on there, and then you can go purchase Shug's shirts, which I'm wearing it now, but the fabric's nice. But go to his sites at Shug Jackson on YouTube, subscribe to his channel, and Shug Music at Shug Music on Instagram and Spotify at Shug Music or Shug Jackson, and subscribe all over the place. Support him. We all support him. So keep up your journey, Shug. And definitely keeping you in prayer, and you know, and definitely got support from over here in Alaska. So
thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
No problem. I can't wait to hear the album, and I can't wait for the next when it comes out and all the stuff to have you back on and to really talk about it and to share the music and whatnots and whatever's going on. So yeah. So Chinan.
You're welcome. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's our pleasure.